Kellyanne Conway is a Fox News contributor and former counselor to President Trump. She joins us tonight. So great to see you. I get that Jimmy Kimmel says that it was just a joke, but I do think it's interesting that he felt the need to come out and explain himself after what happened Saturday night. And
address our wonderful First Lady directly, which was totally inappropriate. I think that they're now confusing the reaction they get among their colleagues, all of whom already agree with him, among their staff, all of whom agree with him, among his curated, self-selected audience, with the way the rest of the country sees it. So if Jimmy Kimmel or Stephen Colbert or other unfunny people can get a bunch of knee-slapping, guffawing from their audience that's in there because they already agree with their point of view about President Trump, Charlie, they're missing the fact that President Trump got a majority of the popular vote. He won all 7 swing states. That's the biggest referendum and mandate you can think of. It's not a close call here. They stay in their safe spaces. The MRC, Media Research Center, reports that ABC News's coverage of the Iran war since it started is 93% negative, 93% negative against the U.S. We have people there now in the seas. We have soldiers over there, and they're 93% negative. Terry Moran got fired last year, early this year, for saying that Donald Trump and Stephen Miller have hate in their hearts, and now he's an anti-Trump pundit. These folks get fired and they become a full-time anti-Trump pundit. So when Jake Tapper calls it journalism, we know it's usually just journalism masked. It's partisanship masked as journalism. ABC News polls are always wrong. They had Biden winning Wisconsin by 17 points in 2020. No one's winning Wisconsin by 17 points. Right. It's why it's Wisconsin. Right. They looked for Russia collusion for 3 years, high, low, in, out, up, down, all around. They had screaming graphics. They promoted a guy that they've since fired, probably because he was a middle-aged white guy, but his name is Chris Velasco. He's probably watching your show. They promoted him to be in charge of scandals when President Trump was there in 2017. And so it goes on and on. Brendan Carr is investigating them because their DEI policies mean that they weren't putting merit first. But you know where they don't have diversity, equity, inclusion as a network? ABC never has a real, true Trump person there. They never have a real, true conservative. And I think this is all important because it allows Kimmel to not be fired. The First Lady is making her point. You are directly threatening my family. She's saying you're directly threatening my family. My son needs to watch both parents be threatened, be ridiculed. That guy got radicalized somewhere. Yeah. He had a college degree. His family said he was just fine. They were increasingly worried. He got radicalized somewhere, somehow.
And those talking points in that manifesto weren't talking points he picked up from Jimmy Kimmel. Those are talking points he picked up from Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi. And by the way, Jake Tapper, he wants to talk about dehumanizing people. Well, I can't think of any way to dehumanize somebody more harshly than to call them a Nazi or a fascist in this political environment.
And worse, which was repeated on 60 Minutes this week, shamedly. The other thing I just wanted to mention is Jimmy Kimmel's wife came out. She was on somebody's podcast last fall, you recall, and she was complaining. She said, my husband is there now fighting this man, fighting Donald Trump, and I have family members who helped put Trump in office. She was calling her aunts, her uncles, who were probably in their 70s or 80s, I'm guessing, cousins who voted for Donald Trump. She's saying how disappointing that they're not supporting my husband, Jimmy Kimmel. Excuse me, your husband is using words disguised as a joke. It's not even funny. We should fact check jokes. They have to be funny. You should fact check reporters. They should be trying to get the story, not get the president, Charlie. But she is calling out family members, elders, for voting for President Trump and saying you should be standing with my husband to, quote, fight this man, Donald Trump. I think a lot of folks support the First Lady in this. This is not the first time. It's the 8,000th insult investigation, impeachment. Everyone knows that. And all these Democrats saying, Democratic senators thanking the Secret Service. Get out there now. Go do your job across the way in the Capitol and fund DHS. Make sure that the Secret Service has its resources.
Well, of course. I want to change gears a little bit and ask you a little bit about what has been going on all day today. You've been in Washington for a long time, been around politics. And I think we've got some images here of the king at the White House getting ready for the state dinner. I don't normally get caught up in things dealing with the British monarchy because I just don't really care that much about it. But I have to say that today has been a pretty awesome day to be in Washington.
Jolly, magnificent, as the British may say.
Yeah.
No, here I am with the cousin of the Queen at the state dinner in the UK, which was also very grand in June of 2019, roughly 6 or 7 months before COVID hit. And it is a special relationship. It is a special occasion. No one's papering over our differences. In fact, I give a ton of credit, Charlie, to both leaders, King Charles and President Trump, for not ignoring that, but also not letting it be the central piece here. I also give Charles and Camilla a ton of credit for coming here since they're celebrating America's 250th birthday. Let's remind everybody how America came to be.
Yeah, exactly.
We left too, and he came here to celebrate that. Look, it is special.
Kind of
the
a rough
president
start
loves all the pageantry, loves the pomp and circumstance, but he loves celebrating America. And President Trump and First Lady always say that's the people's house. So they're bringing us into it tonight. They're transparent. They're accessible. It's a very joyful event. And it's a shame that Americans can, these people who aren't funny, these leaders who aren't leading, they're tweeting, instead just laying down the muskets tonight and saying, this is a wonderful moment for America, and we hope great trade deals can come. We hope great peace deals can come. We hope the diplomacy and the special relationship between our two nations will continue.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.